Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glam Bodybuilding Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the most important training program you can use. Now I know you guys are probably expecting me to say something like progressive overload or high intensity training or maybe high volume training or any of these different types of variations of training for bodybuilding. And as important as all these training programs are, the most important training program for you in any one moment is the one that helps you expand your awareness and pay attention to what is happening in your own physical body in this moment. That should be your first goal in any one program, is to learn how to pay attention to various forms of stimulation in the body and how they affect you, positively or negatively. This is really where you gain wisdom in bodybuilding. And that's why I designed the Deload Bodybuilding Bliss program. The reason why I designed that was because the way it's set up is for you to pay attention to what's happening instead of getting too fixated on the goal. And that's another thing that I want to address. When you're too fixated on the goal, a lot of times you're not paying attention to what's right in front of you. Sometimes the beauty that's right in front of you, or sometimes the danger that's right in front of you. I hear something in the bushes. Being overly fixated on templates or goals that are in the mind take you away from this moment and what is happening in the body in this exact moment. So because of this, you want to always be focused on building your connection with this moment and finding out what is actually happening. Is a certain range of motion or exercise causing negative experiences, such as joint pain, ligament pain, or inflammation of the joints? Or are you stimulating a system in your body that has already been overstimulated and it's time to move to a different form of training for a period of time? So for instance, say you're getting a lot of joint pain, a lot of tendon and ligament pain and inflammation in the actual joints and the bones. You know, it's like you feel it right in your bones. Perhaps you're training too heavy, or at least you've been training heavy for too long, and now it's time to go to more of a high rep training system where the ligaments and the tendons are not necessarily challenged quite as much. Then at some point you may notice that there's an overall fatigue in the system. You feel kind of drained, almost like an empty balloon, right? And then from that, you may say, hey, maybe I need to go back to heavy training again, or maybe I need to work on some other form of stress in the body in order to get the most results. So this is where paying attention will assist you with finding out what type of training program is necessary for you in any one given moment, right? Like if you're burned out in training, then maybe the Deload Bodybuilding Bliss program is the thing for you, right? But maybe if you feel like you have a lot of energy, a lot of vitality, and a lot of recovery, and it seems like you're just not challenged enough, well then maybe you need to go to a 2-day split training program or a super high frequency training program for a period of time. Or maybe you need to start doing heavy weight programs for a period of time. You see what I'm saying? But only through paying attention to what's here and happening and the type of sensations that you're feeling through the body can you know, or at least get a sense of which direction you should move in this exact moment. And following a template blindly obviously does not do this. if you're following a template but you're not using it to expand your awareness, in the end it just becomes a dependency, right? Or a problem, right? Because then you can never really dance with your body accordingly, and you just follow the template even if it takes you over a cliff. So this is why I'm always focused on you paying attention. And the first rule of paying attention is breaking fanatical thinking. You know, anytime you have an impulse or an obsessive compulsive sort of part of you that is forcing you to train a certain way, even if it's breaking you, that has to be let go of in order for you to make more progress. Because if something is breaking you, it cannot progress you, right? So it's the same thing with a fanatical mind. A lot of times it will carry you into a course of action that is done just because that's what's always been done, but not because that's the best course of action. So every time you go in the gym, remember, you're not building muscle, you're building awareness. You're becoming conscious of what is firing what, in what order, and why. And in some cases, what is too much and what is too little. Maybe it's a volume, weight, range of motion, and so forth. But this is really where your bodybuilding journey is going to end. You're going to start to open your eyes to this level of it. And if you talk to any guy who's been training for 20, 30, 40 years, they all have this going on because they learned the hard way, right? By following the template blindly. And then they were forced to adapt, and they started to really pay attention to what's happening. And they might not even know why sometimes certain things are working and certain things are not. But they just know when they do this, bad things happen. When they do that, good things are happening, right? Or when they feel this sensation, don't do this course of action, right? So through this dance, you will master the physical body, and through that mastery, you will obtain not only more results, but better health and longevity. You'll be able to do this for a much longer period of time in your life, rather than being one of those guys that sits around a table and says, oh yeah, I used to train, but yeah, then I had this act up and had that act up. Well, a lot of times, those people had something happening in their training, but they chose to ignore it and just push through anyway. Not always, but a lot of times that is part of the problem. So yeah, if you wish to train for a long time or train forever, then expand the awareness muscle first and foremost, and then build everything upon that foundation. Mountain. Just like I have to be aware of possible monster attacks when I'm in the woods. Even though I've been speaking, I've been aware the whole time, just so you know. Naturally.